Hello, welcome back to the Life's Good. I'm just attempting to put in some parsnip. I've got some hollow crown parsnip here, parsnip hollow crown, and we're now in the middle of April. The weather's warmed up slightly and I'm able to get out here and pop some of these seeds in. I'm not sure if you've ever seen parsnip seed, but it's very paper-like, very flat, very fine seed, like little pieces of paper. And I've made a small drill here, and I'm just going to sprinkle these thinly in that drill. Now, from experience, not all of these seeds will germinate and grow. The packet, if I remember rightly, contains about 500 seeds. Now, I can't imagine I'm going to get 500 parsnips in this little plot. But I'm taking some of these seeds and sowing them thinly in this drill, pulling the soil back over the top. And I will probably come out and water a bit later on, give them a head start. But this is the area of my plot this year that I have decided would be a good spot to grow the parsnips. So I should get probably 4, 5, maybe even 6 little rows of parsnip here. Now they will be in the ground a long time. I think I've said before, parsnips have a long growing season. It's now April, and I probably won't be harvesting these until end of October, November time. They are a traditional Christmas vegetable, roast parsnip, and so they'll be in this ground for at least the next 6, possibly 7 months before they're removed and stored or eaten. Another thing I'm sowing today is some carrots, and I've got some early Nantes carrot seed here. Very small, very tiny seeds these, and whilst you're putting them in the ground, if you're not careful, if it's a bit windy, it will blow the seed around, take it out of your hand even. But I've got a little packet of these early Nantes carrots, and just a pinch, and very thinly just spread those or sprinkle these along the little drill that's probably about a ½ an inch deep. Just put them in thinly, that's enough for that one row there, and just pull the soil back over the top. And what I like to do as well is, once I've got the soil on the top, I just press it down. Use the flat of my hand, press the soil back on top of the seeds, so that the seeds are now actually in contact with the soil, pressed into the bottom of that drill, and they should germinate and grow quite well there. And I've got plenty of seed here for a couple more rows. So this little section of my garden will be carrot. I was just having a look at my broad beans. You can see the individual plants growing here. I've got 4 rows of broad bean here, and I've grown them alongside the little keyhole pathways I've got on my plot, so they're accessible from pathway. You don't have to walk across the soil to access them. But in the last week or so, these have come on really well. As you can see, they're a couple of inches, 3 inches tall now, with multiple leaves on. So I'm quite pleased that they've eventually come through, and looking forward to a crop of broad bean. And incidentally, these are Bunyard Exhibition. If you wanted to know what variety I'm growing this year, Bunyard Exhibition is the variety of broad bean that I have sown and grown this year. And along this side of this pathway, these are my garlic. And I planted garlic last year. They didn't do very well, and I've lifted them earlier this year, split them up and replanted them along here, and they all seem to be doing really well. They're all stood up and putting on lots of growth, lots of foliage there. So I'm looking forward to see the results of my garlic this time. And a quick peep in the greenhouse, and you can see there's lots going on in here now. And a friend of mine gave me some very nice tomato plants that you can see sitting on that shelf there. They are Elsa Craig tomatoes, so they're doing really well. He brought those on in a very large commercial greenhouse that he runs up in Northumberland. So very pleased with those. That was very kind of him to pass those on to me. Sitting in front of the tomatoes down in this corner, I've got some basil coming on. They're doing quite well. If I can just reach across there, I'll pick, there we go, I'll pick that one up for you. You can see it's a nice little basil plant there. So they're doing very well. I've also sown some beetroot in multi-cell trays. I'll just show you what I've done there. These two trays, 24 cell segmented trays, I've sown my beetroot in there, and there's 3, even 4 seeds per cell here. So it's what I would refer to as multi-sow, and they do very well growing together. And as they germinate and grow and the foliage comes through, those whole plugs I will be planting out on the plot when they're mature, or certainly when they're old enough and big enough to be transplanted. So you get 3 or 4 growing together, put them in the ground together, and they push each other apart as they're maturing, and as they're growing they come apart, and you just take the biggest of the bunch and twist it off and take it away to use as they're growing, and leave the other couple 3 behind to mature further. So multi-sown beetroot in there, and I've sown some sunflowers in these white plastic cups, and these are Little Leo, which are a dwarf sunflower. Cheryl likes these. They're really good little plants. They're great for ground cover. Beautiful sort of sun shaped heads on them, yellow with this sort of golden brown centerpiece. They look great in the borders and containers around the garden, around the home, especially alongside the decking or the patio, something like that. These little Leos are a great miniature sunflower to provide a little bit of colour in your garden. And I just wanted to show you my chard. This is a salad chard. It's not the rainbow chard that grows quite big with the rhubarb style stems that you would get out on the vegetable plot. This is a smaller variety, a salad chard, and it's grown for the leaves, and these are great added to a salad mixture. They're coming on now. I will probably want to thin these out and plant them out somewhere, either on the plot or in a container, a bigger container of some kind. But these little mini chards, ideal as a salad crop. And these large tubs here, I've sown some Desiree potatoes in. So that's the first sowing of potato this year. I haven't fully covered them, or at least I haven't filled the pots up to the brim. I've sown the potatoes in the bottom and part filled the pots, and as the foliage comes through, as they germinate and grow through, I will then cover them, which is the equivalent to earthing up, and they will get covered until the pots are full. So the first sowing of potato in these. I've still got my shallots to plant out. I'm working out whether to put them somewhere on the plot or in a container of some kind. Probably go with the container growing because it frees up space on my plot for something else. And I also wanted to show you my shallots. If you look very carefully here, you can see they've got little green shoots coming through there. That one especially, you can see the shoots coming on these. They're putting down roots underneath, and most of these now are showing signs of growth. So at the end of the season, we're looking forward to having a few pickled onions in our store cupboard. It's been a very pleasant and productive day today. I've enjoyed it out here, just rewarding myself with a cup of tea. And whilst I've been working out here today, I've noticed in the bird box on the fence here, we've got a pair of blue tits, and they've been in and out of that box most of the day, bringing in moss and other materials to build their nest. So hopefully we might see a little brood of blue tits emerge from that box in a few weeks' time. Well, I've got a few more things to do today. I'm just looking at the blossom coming on our apple tree. This is a Braeburn apple tree, and all these buds, each one has got a blossom head in there, so it looks like we're going to get a really good crop of Braeburn apples from this year. Excellent. Well, I'm going to have to go finish off my chores and get ready for preparing dinner later on today. So thanks for popping in. It's always nice to see you, and whatever you're up to, you stay safe, you look after each other. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell and the thumbs up and all those things. And we would very much like you to come back and see us again soon in The Life's Good. Bye bye for now.